2020 trend or long-term classic? Totally lost track of my train of thought. I think, oh yeah, I've got 4 things that I've personally been thinking about recently about whether to buy or not, and the reason for my hesitancy on them is because they are all, I'm worried, trend items. But I want to know what you think when I go through the items. Do you think they're trend as well? And how many of you are planning on buying any of these items? Because they're really quite hyped at the moment. And you know, I try and avoid hyped things, but sometimes I just like the hyped item. Right, the first item is from Valentino. Now, you know I always get really confused whenever you get a brand and they start playing around with their logo and they can't kind of pick one and stick to it. And I think the reason for my feeling that way on it really is that whenever I buy something, I want it to like try and be as long term as possible. And although a new logo can look really cool and be really tempting, I always think to myself, oh, but that previous logo they had, they kind of jumped ship from that and it only lasted like a year or something. I don't know, I'm guessing. Do I really want to go and spend money on a newer version of the logo again that also might not be around for very long? Now with Valentino, I have noticed a slight adjustment to their logo, or maybe just the use of the logo has changed slightly. And I can't deny, I'm really tempted. I really like the look of the thick waist belt with the aged gold V on the front of it. I like the look of it, but I also feel at the same time that the size of the logo on that particular belt is such that you'd need a bag to go with it, possibly. I don't know. Do you see what I mean? I feel that it's sizable enough that you might need that. So the first thing is that a trend thing? Do you think that's going to stick around? And will you be buying it? Are you kind of feeling the same way? That logo is definitely going to be here through autumn winter, because already it's appearing on the autumn winter collections. So when I say it's short term, I mean a year to 2 years. I don't mean kind of a couple of months. This also transcends through to the bags. Now, I have noticed that Valentino have, I want to say, kind of actually copied Hermes. Now, if you look at some of the new autumn winter bags coming out from Valentino, you've got one which looks exactly like the Hermes Kelly bag, but they also have another one which looks like the Constance bag. And how do I feel about it? I actually kind of quite like them both, but I don't like the way that they haven't been able to think for themselves on it. Honestly, I feel like the shape of both of those bags is just an identical copy of Hermes with a Valentino logo on the front. Okay, the next one is the Dior Bobby Bag. This comes in 2 different sizes, and you can also get it in the leather as well as in the oblique, which is like the material version. Now, I always, when it comes to new bags from Dior, they do tend to, although it's been less on the Bobby bag, I feel, but they do tend to do quite a big push on Instagram in particular on the day or the week that a new bag launches. And it was quite big when they did the saddle bag, wasn't it? Well, I think the Bobby bag is now out, and I have seen it a bit on Instagram, but I haven't seen it kind of promoted the way that I've seen their bags promoted in the past. And I don't know, I think we spoke about this in a video that I did before this one, which is kind of like the logic behind why brands might use influencers as a marketing strategy to push out a new product. But we also spoke in it, and when I say we, I mean loads of you wrote to me with your thoughts on it, and I included loads of your comments in that video. And a lot of you said that as a customer, it kind of cheapened the product for you, because you're like, well, if they can afford to just give them away, then are they really worth the price tag? And I do understand that, because as a customer, I appreciate the marketing behind it and I know why they do it, but I do know what you mean. There kind of is that feeling that you sometimes get left with. With the Bobby bag, it's not been so intense, the promotion of it. Now, what do you think of this bag? Right now, I want to say that I don't love it particularly, but I'm going to caveat that by saying that I may well change my mind in a few months' time, but currently, I don't love it. Have any of you out there already bought it? What do you think of it? I know it's launched in Asia already, but I would love to know your thoughts. And do you think that it's going to be a long-term classic, or do you think that it's just going to be a trend maybe for the next couple of years? I do feel like it has classic appeal, actually. Okay, here's a difficult one, because this is one that I'm actually really tempted to get soon. So, vanity cases. I spoke at the beginning of this year, before all of the craziness started, I spoke at the beginning of this year about vanity cases. And at the time, I was noticing that you could go into the likes of Chanel and you could buy a really decent sized vanity case, you know, this kind of thing. And it would be 1,100, 1,300. And it was a lot of bag for your money. And then what I was noticing is that quite a few brands from Louis Vuitton, even Chanel, started adding a chain to those vanity cases, calling it a handbag, and then their prices were going up by like minimum £1,000. And even Gucci, I feel like, have they taken they've made a backpack out of a vanity case? Now, I do think the vanity case thing is a trend, and the only benefit is, I think if you're going to buy one, at the end of it, you can use it as a vanity case, which is a good thing. But with Chanel, they have come out with a range of mini vanity cases, and I love the look of them. And I loved the look of them from the time that they launched, right back at the early part of the year. Now, there's a couple here that I've been looking at. One in particular is this, which is red, and I like it because there was a vanity case that came out years ago from Chanel that looked like this, and it had the same kind of handle on the top. And I've always wanted it in black, and you would have to buy it secondhand now, and I cannot track it down. And when I do track it down, it's a lot more. It's a load more expensive than even the price you're seeing here. Kind of tempted to get it, or at least to have a look at some of those smaller vanity cases, because I found one online which would be big enough to fit my iPhone 11, but also the Galaxy Note 9, which is a really big phone. And so I'm really tempted by that. But I'm kind of thinking at the same time, is it a trend? What do you think? I think as well that it's the price that's kind of appealing. And the fact that right now, whenever I am going out, it's just to the shops, not the shop, you know, to get food, and I'm not taking huge bags with me. And I'm kind of thinking, well, this would be fine because I could put my phone in it and my cards and stuff like that. That's my thought process. The final two bags, and I'm grouping these together because they both look the same. This is the Louis Vuitton Pont 9 bag, which launched a couple of weeks ago, and you can get it in black, cream, blue, orange, and I'm pretty sure more colours, like a pinky red colour. The other bag, which looks just like it, is from Gucci, and I forget the name of it, but I'll put the name of it in here. And when I saw the pair of them, I thought they look like each other, but with a different logo on it. And it's a bit like the thing I was saying earlier about the Valentino, kind of copying the Hermes style bags. It kind of feels at the moment a bit boring because everything's looking very similar, and for me, that's why I've been looking more on vintage, just to try and get something that's a bit fresh. I mean, it's old because it's vintage, but a bit fresh. I feel like the Pont 9 bag is going to be a long-ish term bag, but I'm curious to know how many of you have been interested in it, because those of you who have commented on my channel about it, a lot of you have said that you don't like the logo that's been put on it. Personally, for me, it's not a bag that I would necessarily be drawn to, but neither is the Gucci version of it either. I am kind of wondering if the new Gucci bag will almost take over from the Marmont, because at one point the Gucci Sylvie was really popular, and I think I'm pretty sure you can still get it, but then I feel like that kind of faded a bit and then the Marmont took over. Please leave your comments below. I really would like to know what you think, particularly from anyone who owns any of these things. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.